Guys, welcome to another episode of Paul's Asian Adventure,
The walk and talk
the walk
episode.
and talk episode. It's been a while, but we are back in Valencia for a few days, maybe a week or two, and then we're off to somewhere else. We're traveling a lot these days, so in this episode, I wanted to talk about a subject that is near and dear to me.
Why many
Near and
foreign-
dear to me. It's about marriage and why many foreigners now are refusing to marry. Expats are refusing to marry, and some are even departing, leaving, divorcing their wives,
Separating,
separating,
ghosting.
ghosting, whatever. They're not with their wives anymore. And why is this happening? So
Let's
Well-
get into it.
let's get into it. Remember, Pa for Paul's Asian Adventure, but not Grandpa. We are here in this beautiful nature in
Yeah.
Valencia. This is our favorite walking path, and you who have followed our channel probably can see some of this area, recognize some of this area. We'll do some filming of the nature while we talk, but let's get started on the subject matter. And well, why do you think it is the way it is, Mia? From Mia Life in the Philippines.
Wrong. Ink.
Is it?
Yeah.
What is it then?
Filipino life in
Filipina Life
Oh
with
my
Mia.
gosh.
Sorry, my memory banks are full.
Okay.
So why do you think so many are refusing to marry? Now, me and Mia are of course married, as you know, but
Yeah.
why are so many men refusing to marry now?
Why did you marry me?
Well, we'll get into that part at the end of the video.
Okay.
Stay tuned for that one.
So I think one of the reason why men, or foreign men for that matter, are
Uh-huh.
refusing to marry Filipinos these days is because you don't get, how shall I say this? The quality that you get is not the same as before.
So
In a way.
because women are losing their traditional values.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And
we
the
discussed
fact,
this.
the
Okay,
fact
go ahead,
that
sorry.
many foreign men are coming to the Philippines to find a wife, a traditional wife, but they are disappointed in a way in what they see and what they notice with how Filipino men act these days.
Yeah. Well, we'll continue the discussion after passing this noisy place. Comment below on what you think about getting married in the Philippines. Why would you? Why wouldn't you? What are the aspects of marriage that you think are good and what are bad? So yeah, I agree with you. The loss of traditional values is a big thing. I think also that men come here and then they go to a place that is full of expats or full of non-traditional women, and then they realize, man, it's so easy to pick up women here.
Yeah.
You know, I could have 3 different women at the same time, or I could change them out every 2 months, and it doesn't cost me an arm and a leg. So they go down that route and they don't see the purpose of marriage. And many of these guys have become, for lack of other terminology, red-pilled. So they see there is really no advantage to them to get married. I mean, you always got to ask yourself something before you do something, and that is, what is the advantage to me? And if a woman is willing to move in with you, willing to live with you, clean, make your food and everything, and she doesn't demand marriage for that, then why are you getting married? Why are you putting yourself at risk through marriage? There's nothing to gain from marriage for a Western guy who has assets here in the Philippines. So that's why I think a lot of people are just walking away from marriage. There's really using logic and not feelings. Now,
But don't you think
there are cases.
being
I'm not done yet.
Oh, sorry.
There are cases that are different, and I'll talk about that in the end, and my case is a bit different. So we're going to talk about towards the end. What were you saying? What do you think? What?
Don't you think that also when you're married to somebody and for a long time or for a lifetime, you both have the words just went out of my brain. Companionship, isn't it?
But that's
Is
the
the
thing.
companionship of being just boyfriend and girlfriend different than
Okay, marriage.
being married?
What is marriage? Think about it. What is a long-term relationship? What is marriage? The only difference between a long-term relationship and marriage, when you think about it logically, is a contract with the state. Okay? A contract with that woman and the state. There is no really other differences. I mean, if you really like somebody, you have a good time with that person, and you're living with them, you can't really. Okay, guys, it's Sunday, and there's a lot of people. These are kids, I think. Hello! Maya puntak! Filipinos are very friendly, by the way. So, with that, how far was I on this train of thought of mine? Yeah, there's that piece of paper is between the man and the state, and the man and the woman and the state, and the woman and the man, right?
Okay.
But in essence, when you think about it logically, there is no difference in the relationship unless you make it psychological. There is no difference in that relationship. The jokes you tell, the places you go, the things you do together will be exactly the same. Okay? There are disadvantages to marriage, actually, for many people compared to a long-term relationship, because I've discussed this in other videos, but marriage can lead to, let's say, lack of effort, either by the man or the woman, because they feel so secure in that relationship. Usually it's the woman.
Yeah.
You know, they can become lazy, they can start to gain weight, and they can start becoming less feminine, more aggressive, raising their voices more, because they feel like you've got nowhere to go, you can't leave.
My arms are killing me.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. So yeah. So that's why I don't think marriage is a good deal for most men. And that's why I think most men are coming to the same conclusion. Why would I come to the Philippines after X amount of failed marriages in the West, where I've lost X amount of dollars or euros, wherever you are in the marriage? Nothing but misery for some of the guys.
Well,
why would they choose to do that again? Okay, you could say that Filipinas are different, but in essence, biologically, they're the same. They have the same brain. So put in the right or wrong situation, they would probably act the same, right? So again, men are choosing to walk away from marriage, making life easier for them. It doesn't mean they're walking away from long-term relationships. They are walking away from marriage.
what can you say about those men who haven't gone through divorce? They're just single in the US. Single, I mean, they have fun and everything, but not committed. And when they come to the Philippines, they find somebody and they want to get married to that girl.
There's very few of that too, because we don't live in a bubble. We have friends, we socialize, we have social media, and we see what's happening to men. If you're from the US, you see what's happening to men in the courts. You see how females are acting. You see how detrimental marriage can be to men. And so they hear the horror stories. They see on YouTube how the courts are acting towards men, how men are put in a really bad situation. And that's the feeling they have, or the feeling they have about marriage. Most younger guys, I'm talking 20, 30, have sworn off marriage unless they're very religious or something as part of their religion, right? So,
but don't you think that maybe some of them would think to themselves, well, it's the Philippines. It's different.
Well,
So,
if it was, that would be true. But how many horror stories, we are both YouTubers, how many horror stories have we heard about? How many horror stories have we personally seen? So,
lot.
and how many horror stories happen in the US with Filipinas? So it's not like Filipinas are angels and Western girls are devils. They all basically have the same DNA. It depends on how they're being brought up. It depends on their environment. It depends on a lot of
things.
variables that will decide the outcome of that marriage, right? And most guys think to themselves, why should I be dependent on that?
Yeah.
You know, why
Okay.
I just be with a girl and it doesn't work out, goodbye, I move on, she moves on, that's it, you know. But then a question will be arisen in the form of comments.
Have fun.
Like, why, if you're so against marriage,
Why
did you get married?
Ding, ding.
You know, guys, I wake up asking myself that same question. How did she trap me? No, just kidding. Just kidding. No,
I cracked
first
the
of
code.
all, she cracked the code. No, I'm just kidding. No. There's only one, of course, there are multiple reasons. Of course, I love Mia to death, but that's not a reason to get married, as we've already talked about. But I've kind of decided that I'm not staying here to the end of days in the Philippines. I'm going to be moving. Plus, when I was in Saudi, I wanted you there, so the way to do that was marriage. And the most important thing, besides all that, is that we want to start a family.
Yeah.
And I believe in conservative values. I believe like a kid should have a boy and a father. A boy and a father. A kid should have a mother and a father. Sorry, guys. Brain fart. And, you know, I believe in those things. I see how detrimental my mom and dad splitting apart, how that negatively affected me. Even though in the end I came out okay, but I just feel like I've done so much better in life if they had stayed together. That's a long story. But so I want the best for my kids. I want the best for my children. I want them to have a stable family. So am I willing to take some risks to do that? Yes, I am. I mean, to be honest, I think marriage is a risk for a man. So I'm willing to take that risk, and that's part of life. You can take some risk and hope for a good outcome, or you cannot. But I don't want my children, you know, I want them growing up, how shall I say this, in a different environment than the Philippines. I want them to go to better schools. I want them to have a different way of thinking, more European way of thinking. Curiosity is important to me, that they have a curious type of mind. And I just think there's more possibilities for my future kids living in Europe than, or living in the US than living in the Philippines, obviously. Now, of course, I'll have American citizenship and British citizenship since I'm a dual citizen, but still, you know, it's hard for a kid at 18 to upend everything, go to college in the US and leave all his friends behind. It's not an easy thing, you know, if he's grown up in this culture. But if he's grown up in one of the other cultures, that's what he knows. So, yeah, we have future plans. We don't know how many years down the line, but maybe 5 years, 6 years, or something like that. We'll end up probably moving again. We like moving, don't we, darling? It's exciting to move, try new things.
New foods, new culture.
We'll keep coming back to the Philippines, but
Yeah.
We like it here. But there are other places that we want to try out, and we'll see how we like it.
People might say that we say a lot of bad things about the Philippines, but the thing is,
we live here, so we love it. We don't have to live here.
Every places has good and bad.
Yeah, advantages and
And the
disadvantages.
thing is, vloggers would always point out the good.
Most,
so
not all.
Okay, most.
Yeah.
And then when the people who come to the Philippines, they feel disappointed in a way.
Yeah.
Because it's not what
They expected.
yeah.
It's not that they lie, it's that they emphasize one thing.
Sometimes
or two
they
things, or
sugarcoat.
3 things. but they don't tell you the whole story, maybe.
Yeah.
And that's the thing you gotta be aware of. And I've talked about the negatives of the Philippines in many of my videos, as
And there's
you
also
guys
good.
know. But I've also talked about the wonderful things of the Philippines. So it's a balance. And
Yeah.
people who are stupid.
Yin and yang.
The people who are stupid and say, well, we don't like the country, leave. That's like IQ of less than 80, I think. So wherever you go, you're gonna have things you
have
like,
good and bad,
the
yes.
things you dislike. Now, the things you dislike become too much,
Just leave.
you leave. So you leave to another place that maybe is better for you, but not better for everybody. So
Yeah.
I think with that, is there anything else you want to say?
De nada.
De nada, which means nothing. Mia's face. Mia's face is probably more enjoyable than mine.
I doubt that.
Most of the subscribers are men, so yeah, I think so, unless they're gay or something.
Okay.
Even then, I think they would prefer your face. But anyway, yeah, I was thinking if there's anything else that why men don't want to get married. I think that's pretty much it. If you guys can think of anything else, why is it when you come here that you decide, well, you're never getting married, you're just going to enjoy the good life? Something I didn't say is maybe people come here, you know, and the ease of getting women. I did mention that in the beginning, but you know, women having high body count is equivalent to women not being able to bond very well with their husband, as is happening in the US, you know.
Yeah.
So there's that. There is also
that.
yeah. There's also, look at the goats. There's also, I don't know, that's it, I think.
I think you've covered that with your
I think I've
previous
covered
one.
everything. So guys, it's getting noisy here again. So I'm going to wrap it up and say thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Comment below on what you think about getting married in the Philippines. Why would you? Why wouldn't you? What are the aspects of marriage that you think are good and what are bad? So I'll see you on the next one. The next video, you'll probably see us in a different city because we're traveling shortly. See you.